Guidance.
Knowledge.
Ideas.
Skills.
Information.
Play.
Teamwork.
Empowerment.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. We are a family with a 6.5 months old Skylar. Baby girl, she was diagnosed with hearing loss. It was a bit of a shock to us. Not just a bit, actually, it was a terrible shock to us.
We have a 5-year-old son, Scott, who was born, it's a very early preemie. He was only a little over a pound when he was born.
Scotty, come here.
So he was born with lung problems and a heart problem and brain issues with bleeding. And through all this, we found out before he left the hospital that he may have a hearing loss as well.
फीलिंग है जैसे किसी ने कुछ अंदर से मेरे निकाल लिया हो, जैसे भी सोच ही नहीं सकता था मैं भी मेरे साथ भी ऐसा होगा या ये है, कभी सोचा ही नहीं था दिमाग में, कोई सोचता भी नहीं है, कोई भी नहीं सोचेगा ऐसा मेरे साथ ऐसा हो.
I was confused and very upset. Didn't really know what the next step would be.
Fears. Our fears.
That's really a shock to our entire family because none of them have a hearing loss. So we almost broken at that moment.
My parents had a really hard time with it at first. My dad was really concerned that he wouldn't be able to communicate with our son.
I mean, we were at a loss. We didn't know what to do because anything we said, she might not be able to hear. And we thought there might not be ways to teach her how to communicate.
My biggest fear, and I think probably my husband's too, was the social aspect of deafness. How isolating it can be. At one point I sort of said, you know, we're still not sure what's gonna, you know, we haven't met any deaf kids. We still don't really know what the deaf world is like. We're still sort of uncomfortable with having a deaf baby, with what that's really gonna mean down the road.
Halloween. What are these?
Eyes.
And what are these guys? Bat.
I moved to Vancouver just before Skylar was born, and I felt so isolated and so disconnected.
To have a baby with a hearing loss is a great challenge. And then to have your baby when you just arrive in a new country, the challenge is like triple, quadruple, I mean, it's a lot.
क्या ये स्कूल जा पाएगी कि नॉर्मल स्कूल में जैसे ड्राइविंग कर पाएगी, क्योंकि जो ऐसी चीज़ें तो मेन है यहाँ पे.
Why has she got hearing loss? We didn't know why. We still don't know why. And, you know, what can we do to help her?
Journey.
Information.
Information.
Information. Teamwork.
Partnership.
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 Hi, Jasmine. It's Lori Bell from the BC Early Hearing Program. I talked with your audiologist. I'm wondering if it would be helpful for me to use an interpreter for our phone call.
I see the BC Early Hearing Program as their role as helping families getting started on their path.
Well, I get a chance to talk to Lori Bell from the BC Early Hearing Program, and she provided me 3 agencies' name.
Knowing that I had the choice to make that decision of which is the best agencies to support our family.
Choices.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Choices.
When you get a new baby, it doesn't come with a user's manual or anything. You don't know all the details. Family and friends can help with some of that stuff. I see the interventionist as technical support for the hearing language acquisition portion of that.
Meeting an interventionist for the first time, it was a really good experience for us. She was so familiar with our son's hearing loss and what that meant to him, and she was able to walk through our house and show us little things that might bother him, like a noisy appliance.
Bless you. We're from Bellacoola. We come down about every month or so to get new ear molds made for his hearing aids. It's really helpful having their support because it doesn't feel like it's just him getting the support, it's us and answering questions that we have to better him.
The teacher, she's great. She would suggest some games that my son can also play with my daughter, and sometimes she would leave some suggestions that we could follow up.
We had tea with the family coordinator, and a deaf adult came too when Rob was home and talked to us one night. And it did kind of help to meet some deaf people, to feel okay, like there's a community out there that we can get to know.
She would more brainstorm with us. Well, maybe you could do something, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And together we would come up with ideas.
So you don't need to be worried that some government agency is coming into your home. It's so not like that at all.
इसमें डरने वाली कोई बात नहीं है. हमारे से वो कुछ ले नहीं रहे, हमारे को कुछ फ़ायदा दे रहे हैं. हमारे को कुछ दे रहे हैं, ले नहीं रहे.
It's very much a partnership. Us being the parents, nobody knows our child like we do, but nobody knows the disability like the interventionist does.
People say no because they don't want to accept the fact that something is wrong with your baby. And I didn't want to accept at first either. I think I just need a moment.
Why wouldn't you? Someone is willing to help your child communicate and help your child, get his ideas across to you and help your child tell you when he wants some milk. It's tremendously frustrating for a child who can't communicate. We've dealt with that so many times. It's the worst thing to see your child be upset and not be able to tell you why.
As a parent, you need help, and don't ever turn down help.
जैसे हमें इस प्रॉब्लम का पता चला तो हमें ऑब्वियसली कोई ना कोई रास्ता तो लेना ही था, बिकॉज इसकी पूरी लाइफ का सवाल है. ठीक है ना? अगर हम ऐसे ही बैठ जाते कि ठीक है जो गॉड ने कर दिया है वो बस ठीक है, इससे भी नहीं बात चलती.
I know that Skylar actually needs a lot of help to stimulate her hearing nerve.
I think it's very important to start the early intervention program as soon as possible to help the baby learn how to make use of their residual hearings.
Kids with a hearing loss are so capable, right? If they're given all the supports that they're needed, they'll do great in life.
If we waited, it means that Skylar would have missed all of these opportunities to be developing her hearing nerves, and maybe she would never be able to hear anything at all.
The assessments are very helpful because it gives you almost like a progress report of how he's doing and like his motor skills and his speech and language.
The assessment also could be a guideline for me to make sure Bowens to follow up all the steps.
I find that helpful as a parent, just to know what to anticipate. It's like, oh yeah, she should be doing this, in another month or another 2 months.
We work together, establish some goals, and then when we see that those goals are reached, then we raise our expectation, and then there will be a second stage, and we just go on.
Support.
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 Guidance.
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 My name is Teresa. I'm a parent guide with the Guide by Your Side program. I have a child with a hearing loss too.
I became a parent guide because I wanted to provide that feeling of community, that there's support, that there are other people that have been through this, that they're happy, functioning families.
The practical advice always seemed to come from other parents. You know, someone would say, "Oh, do you have insurance for your child's hearing aid?"
The nitty-gritty questions like, how do you keep the hearing aids on a 6-month-old?
It's okay to put a little bit of tape onto the back of the hearing aid. That just stays in place a little bit better. How's that?
The call. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's just a relief to talk to another parent. We used to feel the same way when our son was young.
I think it's a little easier to open up to a parent and ask a difficult question, even if it's to question a medical professional. I think it's sometimes much easier to talk to another parent.
मोस्टली मोर पेरेंट्स के हमारे घर पे फ़ोन आते हैं, वो हमें बताते हैं कि हमारे बच्चे की ऐसी प्रॉब्लम थी।
हमारे मन को थोड़ा शांति मिलती है उससे।
हमें लगता है कि नहीं, हमारा बच्चा भी जैसे सभी बच्चे हैं वैसा ही है।
Seeing children at the next step definitely gives you the confidence that your child can make it too. And having other parents tell us that they were terrified as well really helps.
It was the early intervention program that actually guided us to knowing that there are many things that we need to do as parents.
At one point, I remember just sort of saying to myself, I have to stop analyzing him. I can just be his mom and enjoy him. And that was a real turning point for me, to just say, let's just enjoy our little guy.
इसके बॉर्न होने से पहले सोच रखा था कि हम अपने बच्चे के साथ ऐसा करेंगे, ऐसा उसके लिए ऐसा करेंगे। हमें एक बार तो ऐसा झटका लगा कि जैसे हमारा बच्चे जो हमने सोचा था वो नहीं हो सकता, पर अब हमारे मन को ऐसे धीरे धीरे से ऐसे हो रहा है कि नहीं, जो हमने सोचा था वो सभी कुछ होगा, वैसा ही होगा।
How much these children are achieving.
Technology, journey, support.
Have some fun. Enjoy your babies.